All right, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us live for this workshop. Today we're going to be going over GPTs, what they are, how to find them, how to use them, how to build them. And I'm really excited to go over this topic because I'm quickly finding these things to be really convenient. This is just going to Chat GPT and using prompts to try and get specified answers through that process. You can now create these custom GPTs to act as a very specific role. So you can just come right back to it and it knows its job and you can jump right into it without giving it context to what you're doing each time. So what is Chat GPTs? OpenAI last December came out with an announcement that they were launching new GPTs for ChatGPT Plus users, so you have to have a paid account in order to access them. I hope that changes here soon, but for right now, only paid users of ChatGPT can gain the use of these. ChatGPT is $20 a month. If that sounds a lot to you, then let me help you understand the value that you can get from this. I think the $20 pays for itself in a day for my own uses. And if you have a business or are looking to learn, or there's just 1,000 use cases for ChatGPT. And so now it's the best language model out there. There's other ones coming up close behind it, but constantly throughout last year, since ChatGPT release really launched 3.5 and then 4.0, it's been the forefront leader of language models. And so with this release of custom GPTs, you can basically think of it as creating a mini-me version of ChatGPT 4. So ChatGPT, it went out when they were building it, and they cataloged the whole internet, every web page, every link, and they created a data set of the known online knowledge of mankind. And so ChatGPT can access that knowledge. Right now, it's up to April 2023, I think, is where the cutoff date of that is. And they're going to continuously get that closer and closer to real time as they develop. But if you go to ChatGPT and say, help me with my business, it's going to access all of that information and try and give you the best answer. That answer is not going to be very specific because it's grabbing and searching from that full database. So if you were able to say, hey, act as marketing manager and help me create an email marketing campaign to be able to help me craft some emails to help sell my product or make an announcement, then you're each step telling it to access a smaller data set within its whole in order to be more effective and produce a higher quality answer for you. So that was the whole magic of prompt engineering, where a year ago, we were creating these very elaborate prompts in order to be very specific on what we were looking for. And you had to do that basically every time you used it in a new chat conversation. I still use those a lot, but now with custom GPTs, you can take that big set of instructions and create a specific copy of GPT, tell it to act as that marketing manager, and you are going to, and it turns out the more specified you make the GPT, the better it performs. So you really want to not just act as my marketing manager, but you want to not even just write emails for me. I've just in the last couple of weeks have been creating specific bots for specific actions of that email process. So I have one that helps me write my newsletters. I have another one that helps me write subject lines that are engaging for those newsletters. And so I'll go to each specific GPT, get that done, take that finished result, and then hop on over to the next bot because it has a very specific role, a very specific expertise in being able to help you. And so getting really specific on these roles is, I think, the best way to take advantage of these custom GPTs. And what's great about them is you install and you create these custom instructions. And once you do, it does that job. Right when you show up, right when you open it, it does that one thing really well. And so you don't have to explain, act as a marketing manager. Let's do an email marketing campaign. Help me with some subject lines to make it more engaging. All that stuff is pre-existing in its instructions as its role that you created. So because of this, I'll show this off a little bit more in depth at the end of our workshop, but I just created a business advisor suite that my clients, after they work with me, are going to be able to get this for free. I think I'm going to put this up for sale as well. But imagine being a business owner and being able to go to these trusted advisors at your table, right? And be able to ask them specific questions to help you with the different areas of your business. Now, before, I like to help micro businesses, small businesses, solopreneurs, people with 10 or less employees that are getting going on their way to making their first million. And having a trusted table of advisors was really just, it would cost too much. They don't have the resources to be able to access this knowledge. But now you can have this virtual table of professionals that you can go and ask specific questions to in order to help develop your business or your personal life. And not only that, each of these GPTs come with 20, 30 questions to even ask them, right? Because you might not even know what to ask them in order to get really good answers. So now we have these built-in custom questions. So you now have the ability to access all this knowledge as a business owner, as a professional through these. So you would be able to click on this and then jump right into that one GPT to start asking it specific questions. And so I'll walk you through how to access these things, how to access the public ones that are now in the GPT store. And from there, we'll be able to start learning how to make these things for ourselves. Dave O, do you have any questions before I dive in?
No, so far it sounds cool. When Chat GPT first came out, you want to create an email, you got to train it from scratch. It's like working with a toddler every time. So this sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I've collected a huge toolkit of prompts, but they can get really large. And then ChatGPT would even forget its instructions if you kept going long enough in that conversation. So it was kind of working with a toddler in that regard. So let's check out how you access these GPTs. So once you sign up for ChatGPT 4, you then get access to, this is your homepage, or it could be on the app on your phone. I do use GPTs on my phone too, and I'll show, but setting them up is definitely easier on desktop. So in your top left-hand corner in the menu bar, you have you can save your GPTs here and attach them to it. And I still hope they come up with a better organization system, because I already got 45 right here, and they are growing. I'm adding more as they are created. So you can jump straight in here and get access to these in your own account this way, or you can go to Explore GPTs here. And then this is the new store that they've created. And it's a whole lot better than what it was, because now you can search for GPTs, right? So, you put in cooking, and then it will pull up. I think there's 3 million GPTs currently created by developers. Now, you can see 3,033. That's how many conversations this GPT has had. So you can see how popular it is, how many people are using it, and use that kind of gauge of, this is worth checking out or not. Who created it. As you can see, these other ones are popping up and they haven't really been used yet. So that's kind of a good way to gauge their worthiness, but they're being every day. So let's go ahead and click on this AI cooking assistant, right? All right. And then all it is this chat box, but this GPT has been trained with its role, how it wishes to communicate to its audience. All these things have been defined, and we'll go through these step by steps on how to create them here afterwards. But right now, this is a operating GPT that has a very specified role, right? So let's ask it a question. How do I make the best? Not an easy task. All right, so is the ingredients you need, the specific instructions you need, step by step, right? The pan, great, stir gently, serve immediately. Beating the eggs, I started using blender for the eggs because you want to sit with air, and that's a secret of fluffy eggs, scrambled eggs. So great, low and slow, good, constant attention, great, add-ons. Look at all this helpful information. Alternative, wow. So it has Gordon Ramsay's inside of here to where it's pulling from that as well and then add with it. I didn't know that. Start with cold butter and eggs in the pan. Huh. No. Oh, and so it's been given instructions to also create an image to go alongside. So to visually guide you, let's generate an image of perfectly cooked, fluffy scrambled eggs, served on a plate with a garnish of fresh herbs and a side of toasted. Look at that. So pretty cool. It generated what you're what you're looking for, all with simple requests. How do I make the best scrambled eggs? If you went to just GPT and asked this, it would have given you kind of watered down description. It probably wouldn't have given you instructions. It might have you to a blog. And I don't know if you've look up recipes by just going to a Google search. There's thousands of blogs out there with recipes, but they tend to be making behind the blog, meaning they put the recipe at the very bottom. You have to sort through all this keyword and all these advertisements in order to just get what you need. You're sitting there with the egg in your hand and you're like, how do I just do this? And you have to sort through all this noise in order to actually get the information. So this it took, right, to get going. It took less than a minute to get exactly what you needed. Very pinpointed data in order for just what you need, right? There's no advertisements on this whole thing. And howdy dowdy, you get cool image to go along with it. So this is the role of the AI cooking assistant, right? You wouldn't want to ask it into a ditch for a pond around your house or a moat around your house. You would come to it just for cooking tips, right? So on through and pick some of my favorite and we can explore some of these right now, and these can be found either by direct links to them or to going to the GPT store and exploring them. I've collected with my own using Notion. I've created my own of organizing these, and so as I've shown you, show up in the top left of your account, but those can get buried. Those can get some of them, if you don't attach them, then they kind of lost and you got to find them again. So I've created a Notion for this to be able to hop into categories and jump into these things directly. So is something that I recommend until they definitely get a better system. But I'll show you some of the cool ones that I like to use often. This one's called Super Describe, and this will take any photo and create a similar one, along with creating a detailed prompt to do so. So I'll just use this for example. So mimic, right? Very minimal input. I'm creating a thank you note. And so this is the image for it. So it's creating a similar image based upon that, right? So you can go out on the internet and find images that you like, come back here, drop it in, and it will craft Very similar. So I use this probably like, hey, it mimicked the style, right? The purpose. I got the pen stuck in the wax, but that's okay. Dang close. And another huge benefit of this, and this can only be done on desktop, but if you click on the image and come over to the eye information here in the right-hand corner, it will show you the prompt used in order to get that image, right? So you could then copy this and then get to Dolly 3 or that on top next. So on top, I'm going to change this to line next to an envelope sealed. That should fix the pen problem. Then you have an amazing prompt to be able to then adjust it. You get micro adjustments in order to get exactly what you're looking for, but also to be able to this. So I'll let that thing rock and roll, and we can check out another one. Oh, so here's the search bar for the GPTs, but on the homepage of the they have the featured, so kind of top 4. This one's new, but that's cool. Top ones and then trending ones, and so these are being used the most right now. Census one is really powerful. Will search 200 million academic papers and get science-based answers, draft content with accurate citations. Chat GPT had a bunch of issues, about hallucinating, and its job is to give you the best answers. And if it doesn't know, sometimes it'll just make things up to try and questions being asked of it. But oftentimes, when you're doing research, you can't have like any any mistakes. So this then goes and so this is an API. This is connected to an outside app. And so it says, do I have permission to go from your account to this outside app? I'm going to try that again. All right, connected. So this outside app has this massive data papers. So able to go and reference these things, and then we'll check out its results as it comes back. Here's the photo, right? Boom. All right, at least it fixed the pen this time. So that looks good. It's the style I was originally going for. It captures the same feel. So super describe should be easy, and I'll post these links in the of this video. All right, so here is consensus, the impact. So I asked it, does fish oil improve mood? All right, the impact of fish oil on mood has been explored in various randomized controlled trials. Here's a summary of the findings, right? And here are hyperlinks going directly to the study. Boom, legit, that looks correct. Fantastic. So its own website that has access to all these. And what's cool about, instead of going to this website, you now can, grab all and then continue to talk about it, right? You can ask it, well, what about, some of the opposing views? What might be concerns you should, worry fish oil? So it's not just presenting findings. You can then have an ongoing conversation with the research that you come up and or grab that and then go over to a blog writing GPT and be able to take this information and start the out blog. All right, some fun ones that I like that we go through. These are created by Chat GPT. Fun ones you can go and explore. Dolly 3 is just the image generation, so I'll use that sometimes. You can see more, and it will pull up like it's full there. So this one, Income Stream Surfers SEO Content Writer. This one's really good actually at creating blogs that have keywords for your website. I definitely checking that out. It will produce the actual blog, and not much is needed from there. Canva, you can create, you can tell it what kind of art you need, and it will generate that. This one just shot up to the top of the list. you can give it a sentence and it will go and create a video using vid.io's. It will get it started, and then it'll take you over to the website where you can view it and download it. In video. These two are competing quite nicely. Custom prompts, makers. This one just popped up. I'll play with that one later. Research, programming, education, right? So it's nice that they have these things all available. I want to try this one. So all trails. Where can watch the sunset in Bellingham, Washington. So All Trails is a website, is an app, but now they have created API, meaning they've connected their app, right? So now it's asking if they have permission to do that. So I can stay within Chat GPT and be able to access these outside databases and then be able to, talk things. And they all have links on them. So it's, start and then go and collect your research. Look at that. Cool. So there is a link to Fragrance Lake. Got from it, a lot of descriptions, right? So you can really get specific, tell the neighborhood you're in. You can walk to your home. So not only do these GPTs, form for outside databases for them to be able to plug in and make ChatGPT even better by customizing these and bringing inside of ChatGPT, but you then have the opportunity to create custom ones yourself. So let's go ahead and try and set one of these up for yourselves so that you can see how it can improve your in your progress. All right, so these are all the ones that I've created. I got more to do, but we'll go ahead and replicate this gentleman's thank card. So when you open up the GPT builder, you're going to be able to create one right here or configure. Configure is like behind the curtain, where you get to really be in full control over, exactly spec your GPT. Create is a very simple way, kind of going in and try and setting these things up, because you end up just talking to this GPT builder, right? And so it's asking you, what would you like to make? And so I'm going to say, would a thank you card writer the style of a gentleman with the out of less than 100 words. Okay, so this is going to be the initial instructions I'm telling this GPT builder to do. So it's now getting to work with filling in those different sections in the configure figure backend. And if once you get good at this, you might not want to mess with the create side, because it can overwrite if you're getting really granular with your instructions. It can kind of summarize, move a lot of the detail. So as of right now, this is a great place to start. But once you get your hands, once you get experience doing this, I do recommend just sticking to the configure. So let's give our GPT a distinctive name that reflects its role. How about Gentleman Scribe? Do you like this name? I'm just going to go along with this. So over on the right hand side, it gives you a preview, so you can start, GPT as you give its instruction built. Next is generating a profile photo, so it's going to swap out this logo with one that it generates. You could then, take it, leave it, or instruct it, how to create it yourself. If you want to get real detailed, I would, work 3 in another chatbot and conversation and import it in the configure. So letting this do its thing as we go through the easy one. Good enough. So can you tell me more about how you would envision the interaction with users? So should the gentleman scribe always maintain a formal tone? I'll say formal, right? So it's asking you, how do you want to configure its behavior, right? So you can say always be funny. You can say, a serious tone. You can say, informal. It's going to direct how it outputs you. When details missing, should it ask for more information or make educated guesses to complete the thank you note? I wish to jump right in and describe the thank you card is for, and then you can make educated guesses to complete it. Okay, now it's updating, and this should be done, I think. One more question. Let's talk about personalization. How would you like it to personalize responses? Should it use specific phrases or styles depending on the context of the thank you card, like a birthday versus a professional favor? So I'm going to say auto, and auto is telling it to automatically choose, forward. If I don't like something when I'm starting to interact with it, then I can always make changes to it. But for now, we'll just complete its configuration. Now that we find the context, let's test it in the playground. So feel free. So I'm going to go ahead and, all right, just read the birth. Just received a birthday card from a friend. Please write a thank you less than 100 words to tell him my appreciation. Look at that. I'm immensely grateful for your thoughtful birthday gift. Not only did it brighten my day, but also served as a reminder of the wonderful friendship we share. Your generosity and consideration are truly appreciated. Thank you for making my birthday even more special. So there are ways to improve this, but Alex, this is great. And you take this, right? And you can personalize it as you write that note and make it own. So let's check out the configuration, right? So now that we went through the beginner, way of GPTs, this is the name. You can change the name. You can change the description. So right, is the description that will live underneath the title. These are the instructions that the GPT through, getting wrote up in order to out of the box be able to jump right back into this role, this task. Conversation starters, these are prompts that are right here that will live at the beginning of every time you open it. And so this is helpful, right? If you want to be able to just jump right into a very specific thing, you can just click the conversations and just get going that way. I like to where I can just jump in and say, hey, just like I did, right? Hey, I just came back from a birthday party. I need to say a thank you. And then it just gets going on its journey. Sometimes, if customize email campaigns, you want it to first define, who it is. So you don't want to just jump into the content of the email. You want it to jump right into, okay, before I get started, I need to know who your audience is. I need to know, what, and get the preliminary questions to then look at your content and then produce your first draft. So you would configure the GPT differently in order to get what it needs first in order to produce. Knowledge, this is very powerful. This is what can make your GPT unique. For any that are out there, you can upload files. If you have blog posts or if you have writings, if you have books, then you can upload these files and it can search its own knowledge base in order to be able to draw upon that, very customized, specific information, and then, use knowledge of that larger data set that that Chat GPT has access to. Next up, web browsing. You can turn these on or off. It can then go out and search for, out on the internet. You can tell it to go out and check sources or, scan to come up with a best answer. DALL-E 3 image generation, I come up with an image to go along with my thank you card. You can turn that on or off for your GPT. And then code interpreter, to allow this to run, you need to enable it, but this means that it can upload. You can upload spreadsheets, you can upload PDFs, you can upload documents to it in order for it to then analyze or to work with. And there was some security issues. It's off by default, but they're dealing with that. And if this is something that would benefit your custom GPT, then you can turn that on. These have to do with outside APIs, and hopefully it doesn't really work that well right now, but ideally you can connect this to your, say, Google Calendar. It can perform actions like adding an event to your calendar. I'm waiting for it to do that. I tried a couple methods and it doesn't do it very well, but hopefully this improves, and that's when things are going to get really interesting, because then that's when we're going to have these, other agent language models can go and carry out actions on the internet. Order Uber, order some for you, get access to your credit card and be able to pay things for you, pay bills. So I think 2024, this is going to be the year where these things are going to start coming out, made available, and this is going to really, rapidly the way we do things on the internet, and hopefully improve our lives. So that was a quick run through of, what Ts are, how you access them, and then to build them. I'll add some of the links of the ones that I created that I have walk through, so you can go and check them out for yourself. Then, if you're interested, if you have a business, along with 2-hour business strategy where I walk, business, very powerful prompts, very powerful GPTs for you to be able to get a business strategy, get your audience research, get your, offers based off of that audience research, creating compelling, marketing. End up walking away with this, strategy for you to excel and grow your business with. Alongside that, as I said, my clients are going to be getting access to my AI business advisor suite, where they can take their business strategy and then jump into individual chatbots that I've created using much powerful methods than, what today of just kind of of creating GPTs. All these have a very unique knowledge base. All of them have very specific commands, roles, and to be able to give you really high quality advice and direction. So if you're looking forward to this, I'll put a link to this. If you want to just buy this yourself for your business, you can do so. Or, we're together, and this gets to be something that you get added to after a business strategy. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. Each week, I'm going to be looking at, cutting tools and strategies to be able to maximize our output, using these things to make us more creative, make us more effective, make us more, powerful as we start using these technologies in this rapidly changing world. Thanks for joining me. Stay tuned for next week, where we dive back into another topic, and I'll see you then.